What's going on, folks? Today I wanted to show you this Fusco. He's crazy. He's definitely the tank boss, but I was gonna say, if you have a tank boss like I do, this guy, he's a tank boss that you don't mind, because while he's definitely the dominant, assertive fish in here and just does stuff like that, kind of zips around and puts everyone in check, he still allows every fish in this tank to roam freely, which is kind of weird because right now they're all over here, but on any given moment, these fish are happily all over the tank. They go from this side, then they swim back to that side, and he allows that. I've had other fish take over as tank boss momentarily, and they will keep everyone corralled between this rock and the side, and that's no fun for the fish or me. So I usually don't mind when the Fusco gets flared up and reclaims the tank boss status, because he's a pretty good tank boss. He's never violent. He does this frequently where he's just like, hey, you guys understand I'm the boss, you know, and they all, no one really contests his status. They just kind of do that. Okay, sure thing, you're the boss. Some days he does this little chasing more than others. Like today is a more, he's more aggressive today than typically. But I have noticed this Nimbochromis rhodosi, this little fella here, suddenly had a little bit of a growth spurt and starting to get some color, and then it does things like that where it feels like maybe it's going to make a run for tank boss. It also started to dig a little pit here in the corner, so I'm not sure if that little rhodosi lepturus yellow is going to try to make a run towards the top. But so what it will do is it has definitely established itself as the number 2, because it's kind of fin picking and chasing everybody, and then the Fusco comes and says, hey, as long as you understand you're number 2 and I'm number 1, I think they're fine. But the Nimbochromis and the Nimbochromis both are extremely voracious eaters, so the Fusco is just a lot bigger. So I don't think it's going to lose its status to that little Nimbochromis rhodosi, but we'll see. The Fusco has lost its tank boss status before to significantly smaller fish that just have a worse attitude. So who knows? But when he is like this, asserting his dominance, look at his coloration. It is just insane. Freaking beautiful. I mean, look at that. And even when he's really, really calm and not asserting his dominance, that's what he looks like. He gets that, well, now it's gone. But he gets that typical Nimbochromis look to him. But while we're talking about these fish, we can go ahead and check out the others. This Nimbochromis holotaenia remains to be one of my favorites. The glare sucks, but this fish is freaking cool. There's just no two ways about it. But then I feel like I've been really selective with what I put in this tank. So everything in this tank is freaking cool. The Niagara Fenner wild caught, doing really well. There's one of my favorites, the Rostratus. The Fusco. There's the Gar. Gar is one of the biggest, but it's quite colorless, which they're notorious for coloring down and just kind of looking bland. I think they're such a passive fish that they don't really want to stick out and become a target. There's the Morai Dolphin. What else do we got? Here's the Phenostar Sapphire. Really like that fish. There's the Hawk. Nimbochromis christii, Malawi Hawk. Check out my Strigatus back here. He's a favorite. Of course, we talked about the Nimbochromis rhodesi. Here's the Nimbochromis cerealis. That's the Malawi trout. One of the longest fish in here, but the absolute most colorless fish too. And then we have the Hawkliceps, which is a Tyrannochromis maculiceps mixed with a Malawi hawk. Am I missing any? I think that's it. I got a red hook silver dollar and a common pleco. But yeah, Mr. Fusco's a ball of fire. Oh, and if you're still here at this time, stay tuned, because next week we got one more and probably the final addition to this tank. So stick around. It's probably the rarest fish I will have. Bye.